Okay, guys, we are live. It's Friday night. It is a huge weekend. We've just had a fantastic 7-1 win midweek against Rangers. We'll regurgitate that and chat and go through that and stuff and hopefully get a bit of confidence out of it, put it into a little glass of my waddy and drink it in for Saturday. The boys are with me to chat about the big one on Sunday. Of course, it is Ivansky in the house. Ivan at Ivan Jennings on Twitter and Keith at Ethan Ryan on Twitter. How are you boys? All good?
All good.
Good, thanks.
All good.
Yeah, good.
All good. Can't believe it's
Ready
Friday
to-
again.
Oh, fucking brilliant. It's flying in. This fucking year's gone already.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It's not
gone.
it's not when you're getting older. It's just like Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday.
Gone.
You want the whole thing to slow down a little bit. Just slow down. Everything just slow.
You ever see the film Inception? Brilliant.
I feel like I'm
That's a
living
good
in
film.
Inception.
Inception. We have to bring a bit of Inception into our lives. Okay, guys, we go back to Tuesday night at Anfield. At Ibrox. At Ibrox, yeah. But it seemed like it was at Anfield for such a bloody win.
Second half, it did.
Well, I did a lot of videos on this. I think it was a game of two halves. The first half, I thought we were fucking a bit all over the shop, to be honest, a bit chaotic. If it would have been a better team than Rangers, we could have been in trouble. But the fact it was only Rangers, they went 1-0 up. It was a good move. I one or two mistakes by us, of course. Airfield, a good finish. I wouldn't blame Allison at all. But I think that sort of sparked us into life. And then Bobby deserves a lot of credit for his performance. Two important goals, getting us back into it and getting us in the lead. He's really dragging us through a lot. I think Keith, you text me during the game saying he's really turning it on, Bobby, for us. So we're going to go through it. Hopefully, Salah, quickest hat-trick in Champions League history, 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Fucking hell, it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe the second half. Game of two halves. What do you think? Look, as I say, it's Rangers. It's not Man City, but you have to take some confidence out of it. Keith?
Yeah, I think they were always going to start strong, to be honest with you. Well, when I say strong, they were going to be competitive. Like, ultimately, they don't particularly like us. They probably dislike us more over the last year in terms of different stuff that's gone on. So, when it's ultimately because I suppose what they would have called a battle of Britain, to a degree. So, and they would have come out. They came out. At least I didn't think they were brilliant, to be honest with you, but they were looking to pick up every second ball, and they were combative, they were dedicated, they came at us, didn't show a huge amount of quality. And I think realistic, the kind of the thing about the first half really was, I think Carvalho gets caught in the middle of the park, and then we don't react. There's a couple of people who don't really react, and it's 1, 2, 3 quick passing, and it's just shot, and it's in the bottom corner. And then I think we respond very well, to be honest with you. We're back within 5. Is it back within 5 minutes? And it's 1-1 at half time, and then we come out a different team in the second half. And at times, albeit against, although it's like ultimately it's Champions League football, and you can say all you want that it's lesser opposition, and but I think 3 of Salah's goals are vintage goals, and ultimately, they're good defenders. The good defenders are people playing in a professional sport, and the stuff he does to score those goals, from where he scores those goals, I think he just scored those goals against the best defenses in the planet, to be honest with you. He takes the first one, he takes off over in the corner by the goal post, takes the ball down very well, turns and toe pokes it into the corner, and then his curler, and then the second goal as well, he just completely does the keeper. And there's 3 or 4 legs he's to find a gap between him, manages to find the back of the net. So, all right, fair enough. And then our tails are up, right? And we're playing absolutely amazing football. But I think you're right. I think, Bobby gets us back into that game and gets us pouring. So listen, first half, I think we could have gone in maybe 1-0 down even at the start of in that first half, and that would have been probably all right. And I think we would have come out in the second half and got the win anyway, to be honest with you. But it was great to see. It was great to see us in a Champions League match really turn on the style, and hopefully the lads have taken a huge amount of confidence out of that, in terms of, listen, when we want to play, we can play, and we still have it within our kit bag to turn on performances like that, because there was some beautiful football played in the second half, absolutely beautiful. And I don't think there would have been many teams in Europe who would have been able to stick with us, to be honest with you. The quality of the football was that good.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, Rangers were Europa League finalists last year. We have to remember they were beat by Frankfurt, but they gave Frankfurt a fright as well. So, look, we know. Look, away, we needed a win there. We got the win. I think we only need a draw against Ajax. They can't catch us. We basically get second at least. We will get second. I mean, Napoli are running away with it at this stage. They won't. They beat Ajax in 4-2, but it was so important, Ivan, for us to get a win there. And I was a little worried when we went 1-0 down. Like, I have to say I was, even though it was only Rangers, because the crowd were up. We weren't really stringing passes together. Bobby got us back into it. They had a great chance to go 2-1 up just before, I think on 42 minutes. Canate with the tackle. If that goes in, it's a different game. Goals change games. I think it was important to go in level at half-time.
Yeah, like much like we use Anfield and the noise there as a 12th man, that's what Rangers do, and they did it. And like what I was happy we didn't concede immediately, right? So we get to 20 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever it was, and we conceded, and it was a good goal. I think our equalizer was excellent. It was a brilliant corner from Tsimikas, and a brilliant header from Bobby. It was like, when you look at it, it was on his head perfectly. It was an absolutely perfect goal. And I think Keith's spot on with Salah. Salah, forget the opposition. They are quintessential Salah goals. But they're just, how many of those we've seen? Yeah. How many of them have we seen? 40 of them.
Coming into the left. You know what he's going to do? You can't stop him. Basically.
Exactly. And we talked about this last week about him being very predictable, but when he's on fire, he's unplayable. And they were just unplayable goals. Like, to slow it down by putting his foot in the ball and not even hitting it particularly hard. Literally just placement.
Yeah.
The one into the far corner and the one into the near corner using the defenders as a kind of a feint was absolutely superb. Now what I would say is, like, we're miles off it still. We really are. But I think what Klopp will do is he'll look at each of these games as individual games, and what can he take from that. And similar to the last games, even though we were beaten, there are positives in all of these games. Salah getting back now, you could see that him playing on the right hand side to accommodate Nunes hasn't been working. So you bring him in a little bit more centrally. That's working. I know we conceded a decent goal from their standards, but we were fairly tight after it. But for that chance that they had just before half time. I thought Harvey played really well. Yeah. I think we got to rest a couple of key players. I thought Nunes again his movement was really good. He was a little bit kind of.
He was getting frustrated, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was kind of scrappy, but you could see what they were doing. They were kind of targeting. They were roughing him up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So
because he got sent off against Palace.
Exactly. So I'm sure part of the team talk for Rangers was stand on your man's toes, pull his fucking arse, pinch him, whatever. And he wasn't getting it. You know what I mean?
And he definitely improved, though. We definitely improved as the match went on. I think at the start of the game, he was coughing up a little bit. He was doing his usual, getting caught off sides.
Yeah.
He
was caught offside about 10 times.
He kept trying and trying.
Yeah, he did play him. He did play it, and that's what I really liked about it. I know there's a lot of chat about being written off all around the shop. There's loads of stuff now being said about him, but I thought the way he played his way into the game was really encouraging. He did start off quite poorly. There's no two ways about it. But at the point in time where he gets his goal, he's on it. He's holding the ball up. He's letting the ball off. He's getting himself into good positions. He's getting himself, a couple of pot shots here and there, a couple of skied over the bar. But he takes his goal really well, and it's probably the best chance he has, and the only really, really decent chance he has, and he puts it away. And I thought he played himself into the game really well.
Yeah, my only criticism of him, Keith, and this would be if I'm looking at a striker, and you kind of, if a big club is buying a striker, you kind of make certain assumptions around them that they've got a level of quality, wherever that is, right? He gets caught offside too much, and for me, that's when you look at the likes of your man Zaha and some of the Arsenal strikers previously. How do you get caught offside? It's almost like it should be, for a number 9, it should be one of the first things, or one of the top things that they focus on, not being caught offside. How do I bend my run, or how do I hang on the last shoulder, or how do I look for the deepest defender so that I can get my position? and he just doesn't have. Well, he doesn't seem to have that, and he was easily caught offside 10 times, and that's my only criticism of him. His movement, I think, is absolutely superb. Like he floats across that area of the 18-yard box, kind of widthwise, brilliantly. He really does. He gets a little bit frustrated, and he's a little bit scruffy, but it's only just that understanding of the offside thing that annoys me a little bit about him. But apart from that, I think he's great, brilliant.
I think he's a rough diamond, right? But the most important part of that is he's a diamond.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd agree.
He just needs a bit of polishing. And I think that's all he needs, a bit of polishing in the right areas, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, he's not like, I don't think, there was a lot of comparisons at the start between him and Haaland. Haaland's fucking machine. He's an alien. He's a robot, whatever. I don't think he's going to be that. He may very well turn out to be that. But I still think, what's he got? 5 goals this season?
Oh, yeah.
So like he will get us 20 goals this season in his 4th season, with a huge amount more to come. And to be honest with you, I really don't have any worries about him, to be honest with you. He's a young lad. He's come out of probably a poorer league than certainly Haaland has come out of. He's got a bit to learn. That position for us, I think, where we eventually want him to play is probably going to be quite technical and not as instinctive.
And he just on that, I think the key thing, and he's called it out, he doesn't understand a word of English, right? And to your point, it's incredibly technical. And when we're moving from a 4-3-3, which was incredibly fluid, to supporting an out-and-out number 9, and all that goes with that, and all the other changes, not understanding the language is a bit of a problem. So it's going to take time. It's going to.
The only thing I'll throw back at you, though, in relation to that, is that did you see Firmino's interview after the match?
I know, yeah.
He's got nothing.
But he's been here 6 years. Do you know what I mean? And we've heard his first bit of English. Do you know what I mean? He's been here since 2016 or whatever.
Yeah, I think my children at 9 months of age now are more English than Bobby has. And he's been there 7 years, for fuck's sake. He's just like monosyllabic. Yes, no.
Yeah, but my fucking Portuguese isn't great. But look, at the end of the day,
let's give us a bit of it there, Dave, and we'll let you know what we think and how good it is.
No, it's not bad. I can speak like Mourinho. That's about it. That's the English version. Right, so listen, let's take the good bits out of the game. As Ivan said, I think our Harvey Elliott played very well. I know he got the goal, but his overall play, even in the first half, he was stringing things together. He was trying to go forward. But I think this 4-2-3-1, I think Klopp wants this now. I think he wants to build on this. This 4-3-3 thing, I think, might go out the window. I think this is what he wants, especially with Núñez there. I know Diaz, a bit of a loss as well, but Jota came on and played very well, didn't he? I think he got 3 assists.
My only thing, right, is, and we were talking about this last week, 4-2-3-1 is, 4-2-4, 4-2-3-1, whatever way you want to look at it, right? It's essentially 4 attackers and the rest of the defenders. It looks incredibly defensive on paper, and it is against certain teams. You've got 4 strikers and you've got the 2 lads protecting it. I don't think he's going to go the same against Man City. No, because he's going to need
the City game now. What does he do?
But I mean, I like that he's trying things, Dave. Do you know what I mean? And
you think you go 4-3-3 against City? He wants a more conservative type midfield.
Yeah, I
don't think he can leave 2. I don't think he can leave 2 in the middle against City. No. I think they'll fucking kill you. They'll annihilate you.
Yeah. I think it's Fabinho, Hendo,
out of the game, and you have to assume at some point in time, the 4 lads up front are going to get caught above, right? And all it takes then is one of, whether it's Henderson, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, to get caught up front of the ball. And the way they move the ball, it's they will literally cut us up to pieces. We have to. I think the only way to play against them is a 4-3-3. I do think in the second half, when the game starts to break up a little bit and teams get a little bit tired, and I think we've got a fantastic bench, I think you could probably have a look at doing something slightly differently. That's why I don't think Núñez might start, to be honest with you. I do think he might be I
agree.
I don't think he might start, but I do think very similar to what we did in the Charity Shield. It could be something that you bring on to affect the game later on and let him run. But I don't think we can go 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-4 against
So I'm gonna just put, obviously it's a huge game weekend, lads. I think we'll give City a game just for the fact that it's at Anfield, the crowd are up. We're gonna take as much confidence as we can literally get out of the Rangers game, bring it in. The likes of Salah was great getting the hat-trick. We needed a confident Salah. He's gone a bit sulky the last few games, and just to have a smile on Salah's face is great. Bobby's coming into form. I think Bobby's more goals, same amount of goals as Jesus, fucking Gabriel Jesus. But anyway,
he's more.
You've Jota there. Elliott's coming into form. As Ivan and we were talking off camera as well, you're a little worried about Van Dijk, just his overall play.
Yeah, like when I saw him, like when he came into us, like we never actually saw him, you know, clattering into somebody. He was always very like this, almost like godlike defender, where people didn't even consider challenging him because he was so fast, he was so big, like he was great in the air. And then suddenly, I can remember Sterling a couple of times shoving him off the ball when he was playing really, really well. And now it's almost like people are kind of going, are you sure he's that good? And you're kind of looking back and going, maybe he's just playing on reputation. Maybe it's his swagger and his style and his confidence and his Dutch kind of arrogance that's been buying him this kind of time. And I just think you see the likes of Rashford and Richarlison and other players who I don't think are in his league. I actually think on his day he's incredible. But they're now going, I'm going to put it up to him. And some of them are getting the better of him. And some of the Rangers players got the better of him during the week. So I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if it's a physical thing or if he's still worried about his knee or what it is. But Virgil van Dijk today is not the Virgil van Dijk of 2 years ago. He's just not. And I'm not sure if he will ever recover.
I throw something out there, right? So when you look at most of the great defenders, right? The great defenders, you know, great Italian sides, even some of the South American.
Maldini and all them.
Yeah, they all played with really good defenses and really good defensive sides, right? When you put, apart from, and the only player I'll actually put into this, and it probably sounds like, you know, it's well, I would say that, but I think Paul McGrath on his own could do a lot of shit on his own. He was amazing on his own, right? You know, he like we bought Phil Babb off the back of what fucking, what Paul McGrath did.
That was all the Guinness in the system.
You know, but like most of the really good defenders out there are a two, whether it's a Rio with Ferdinand and a Vidic or or
Pallister and a Bruce.
Yeah, or let's not just keep going on a United.
Hippie and Honcho.
But they're always, and I think Van Dijk in the system we had over the last couple of years, he's a very good defender. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good defender, right? But any centre halves, when you've got free run at them from the middle of the park, right? Head up football. I don't care how fucking good you are, right? You can be made to look like a mug, right? And you're not going to get us out of shit all the time. The problem we have at the moment, I don't think, is necessarily a individual performance defensive thing, right? Albeit Trent has contributed to some of that on his own, but as a team, right? Yeah. When that ball breaks down around the middle, and we've spoken about this on the last 2 or 3 podcasts, when that ball breaks down, a la Carvalho the other night, or Henderson on a couple of occasions this season, whatever else it is, when that ball breaks down, right? There are so many system failures around the pitch. You know, it's we shouldn't actually be pointing fingers at 1 or 2 people in terms of what they're doing or not bringing to the table at the moment. There's a huge amount of stuff going wrong when that happens, whether it's legginess or whatever else it is. So, I don't think it's just Van Dijk. Likewise, I don't think it's just Trent. Like Tsimikas.
You know what I think it is, Pete?
Wherever Tsimikas the other night as well has just gone in for an absolutely nothing ball.
Yeah,
and missed it, and that's nearly for the second goal. He goes in for a header and absolutely nothing. He shouldn't be anywhere near it. Takes himself completely out of the game, and they're in on goal. So there's lots of different things going on around the pitch that are contributing towards this stuff, and we are gifting. But albeit, he's always been that kind of defender where he's a little bit looks to be almost lazy, laid back, but gets the job done. Now I think he's been asked to do a lot more. right? And yeah, he's been found wanting on a couple of occasions.
I
but
think
don't
you're
he just
you're
put it down
spot
to-
on, right? And you know what this all talks to, right? This comes back to the fundamental makeup of this team that Klopp has turned these lads into superstars, right? But it's the collective, right? And they all have to be working at 110% for that system to work. From the press, from Trent pushing forward and people covering for him. When something isn't working, the whole system starts to get a little bit wobbly. Do you know what I mean? And when one player is 5% off, the implications of that for the whole team are just fucking immense. And when you think
When you
of
4 or 5 players at the same time,
absolutely,
fucking 10%
totally,
drop.
no, absolutely, you're spot on. So now you have Trent not playing particularly well, Henderson looking a little bit leggy, Mo's a
Fabinho
little
for me
bit
is the big one.
isolated.
Fabinho's the big one for me.
Totally.
He protected Van Dijk and protects the centre halves.
Yeah.
He's been way off it, guys.
Yeah.
He has been way off it.
Yeah.
And he's the one for me, was the glue in the midfield.
Yeah. Now,
And
for
he
me,
has not been at it. So
I agree. I totally agree that for me though, the system, and everyone's doing it. It starts with that press, right? And it was there, thankfully, on Wednesday night where you could see Henderson going and dropping back, and it wasn't the manic pressing that we had seen, splits and bits and pieces all over the place. It was actually the proper pressing where one goes and two or three go, and then they come back and they wait for the next one. And
there was
one,
thought
and then
put
two.
into the press.
There was thought put in, and that's how it should be, because you just burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the positive things that I could see. And back to my previous point, they're the little positives that Klopp will take from it. That okay, Trent didn't play. Joe Gomez had a great game, both defensively and attacking. A great ball for one of the goals. The press looked a little bit better, albeit against a slightly weaker opposition. I got to rest some of my key players like Thiago, and keep Salah on the bench until whatever 66 minutes. And like I think he only had 12 touches or something like that in the game, which is just fucking incredible, and scores a hat trick. So for me, lots of little positives, but still lots to do. And I think if we get a result on Sunday, I'm not going to go, we're back in it, because there's a shed. Like if we win on Sunday, it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. They're going to gel, and it's going to be like the old team for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, a spell that's going to get us over the line, or we're going to get lucky with a call or a penalty or sending off or something like that. But we've a shed load of work still to do. We
got to stop these early goals, guys. Yeah. If we let in an early goal against a top solid City, it fucking spells disaster. I don't mind if look, we play well, it's performance-wise. Are we going to beat City? City are favourites to win the game. They're way ahead of us at the moment. But I think, depending on what team he picks, I think we will give them a game. And I'm actually a little more confident than a lot more people are about this weekend. I'm not saying we'll be back even with a win. But what I'm saying is these type of games, this is the type of game that we'll be up for. There's no complacency in this game.
Totally spot on. And Dave, I was saying to you about my young lads team that they won the league last year, and they won the cup last week. They can't win a game in the league for some reason. And the tough games keep coming. They're the ones where you learn, and they're the ones where it'll click. And you might not be over the hump, and you'll still have lots to learn and lots to fix. But if we get a win or even a draw, I'd say on Sunday, and we can look back and go, do you know what? We held our own. We were defensively sound. Sure, we might have conceded one, but we scored two or whatever it is, and we've more positives to take from that game going into the next game. That's all I'm looking for, because we're still miles off, I think.
I seen this thing with Kanate today. There was no pictures of him in training, but I didn't hear that he was injured or anything. Probably just precaution. See, we have tomorrow all day, Saturday, to train at Kirby. So with the weekend, we don't play till Sunday. So I haven't heard that about Kanate.
I didn't either. And in fact, I think he's been great. Like, we need him. We absolutely need him.
We need Kanate. I think Kanate was good the other night. He
was really good.
He was covering for Van Dijk. He has that pace and just has that size. I mean, he's immense looking fella. And so, what team would you go with, guys? And what
Just
type
looking
of
at a
formation,
comment
Keith?
there from North Red. I think it's Anthony Taylor, and Darren England is on bar again, isn't he?
Stop! Like, for fuck's sake, you couldn't make this shit up. You absolutely. It's your man. It's Anthony Taylor, isn't it?
No, like, I'm not massively concerned about Anthony Taylor. I think but Darren England should after the last match should be anywhere near.
I think, given that there's a comment there about VAR, right? So, I can't get my head around this, right? When I saw the first Arsenal goal, I was like, Keelan, Saka's offside there, and then they go to VAR. And the cameras, whatever way they're set up, don't see fucking Saka. Like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Like, you're kind of going, listen, when this is going
technical
against
issue.
you,
There was a technical issue with VAR.
No, seriously, fuck off. Fuck off. We can see it on the television that he's offside, right? And then you get the penalty. My hand's up here, and it's not in an unnatural position. It fucking is, right? Thiago tips your man in the back of the leg and he falls down like he's been shot and it's a penalty. Sorry, lads. I'm sorry. No fucking way.
Yeah.
No,
look, fucking don't talk to me about VAR. That's another fucking podcast because it's fucking a joke. We might get one of them go our way the weekend. Yeah. You never know. We might get a decision the weekend, but I just don't get it.
But even the referees, Dave, they're like the selection of the referees, you know what you're going to get with them. They're a share of fucking bastards, and they're not accountable. They're just not accountable for the decision making, and it's so bad, you know.
I think for us to get anything out of this match, it needs to be the Trinity, you know, all on the same page. It's the crowd, it's the team, you know, and it's Klopp, and it's everyone together on this bus.
Take your chances, Keith.
I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it does anything or brings us back into it. To be honest with you, it's the title race, but I think it'll certainly solidify some of the improvements.
Big boost to beat City the weekend. Or get a result.
I think not being beaten is a huge boost. To be honest with you, yeah.
Even a draw.
Keith, I think Keith's spot on there. It's going to be one of those ones where you'll feel it at the start. Do you know what I mean?
It'll be like behind you, Ivan, in that
exactly
behind you with the pyros. One of them.
It'll be boiling. It'll be absolutely, and you'll like. I'd say it'll be one of those ones where you'll know after 10 minutes.
You either were up.
Well, I know which way this is going, right? And you'll see it with Henderson, and you'll see it with Kanate, and you'll see it with Thiago. We'll know fairly early on what way.
You never know, even when you're not at the ground and you're watching a game on a Sunday, usually a Sunday afternoon game. You can get sort of these feelings about a game. You can see the crowd going in, and there's an atmosphere or an energy in the crowd nearly, and you can nearly say, "Geez, this is going to be one. We're going to have a chance here today." You know, that type of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I've kind of tried to. I've tried to take the positives from the previous games, even the defeats. Like 7-1 in the Champions League. If you can't be happy about that, I don't care who the fuck you're playing, you have to be happy.
And away from home too.
And away from home, and a good away ground. Like I love those ones where you've got a bit of adversity. And the first half was tough, and we come through, we score, and then we turn it on. Like that's a sign of a really good team, that it's still in us to do that. Salah scoring those 3 goals, I think, was just incredible.
Ridiculous.
And to see him celebrating, like he was.
What does he do? Just that.
Yeah, you're kind of wanting something like the last few games. He just hasn't been in it, and you want Salah like that. You want Salah angry and involved and disrupting the game. You know, causing problems and get him back scoring those goals, because they were just they were every week with him.
I think if we don't gift them, right, if we don't, you know,
we make it hard for them,
throw away stupid goals, I think we've a chance, to be honest with you. If we gift them 1 or 2 goals,
we're fucked.
You know, I don't think we have enough to get 4 or 5 against them, to be honest with you. And they're good enough to get 1 or 2 on their own. If we absolutely gift them 1, you know, they could score 3 at Anfield, and then we're looking 3 for a draw. I think if we can cut out the bullshit, cut out the mistakes, I think we have a chance, you know, and we have a chance to maybe not win it, but certainly, you know, get a draw out of it, you know, absolutely.
We're going to go in about 2 or 3 minutes. What team would you go with? Keith had to jump there. Someone was knocking on his door. Did you hear it?
I would go Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, and Tsimikas. Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago.
Would you play Nunez or Jota? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough up front. Like I want Salah to play, but I don't want him to play on the right.
Well, then would you play Jota, Bobby, Salah down the middle?
Possibly, yeah.
And have
possibly.
Darwin on the bench.
The only concern I have is Bobby's legs playing either side, you know, or maybe just go back to a fluid front three of the three, but like not Nunez, but Jota, Salah, and Firmino, and just mix it up, lads. Maybe start Firmino as the kind of false nine, but giving Jota and Salah the freedom to kind of move. I'm
actually finding it hard to pick the team, because when I listen to Klopp's, we listened to Klopp's chat before the Arsenal game talking about being unpredictable this season, that he is going to be. You're not going to predict the 11 that easy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the other positive, right, is that Gomez isn't as naturally attacking as Trent, so we're not as exposed in that channel. So Foden will be probably playing over there, I'd say. So we're covered there. So the positive there is we're more solid, but also Henderson doesn't have to do the amount of covering that he would do if Trent was playing there. Now that obviously takes away from some of the attacking that we have, but I think it makes us much more solid, and we have to be, because you can see like Foden would have been going if Trent's playing there. I'm rubbing my hands there. I'm absolutely rubbing my hands.
Trent won't be available anyway, so
he's not there. So I think that's
a positive.
Gomez
was decent. He made one or two mistakes early, but he grew into the game a lot better, didn't he?
Yeah. I just think like Trent, he's not a right full. He is a centre half, right? And you can kind of see with the two of them, the one thing that they both get caught out of technically is a diagonal ball over the head. They just struggle with that, right? But he's a very good defender, and you could see for the goal, for one of Firmino's goal, that ball across the box, as good as Trent would play.
It's a cracking ball across the box.
Ball.
I'll give you my 11. I think Robertson comes back in. I really do. I think Robertson comes back in for Tsimikas. I think you've got Alisson there, obviously. You've got Van Dijk, Konate. Let's hope Konate's okay. You've Gomez, Robertson. Then I think you go with the three. I think you go with Thiago, Hendo, and Fabinho. And up front, I think Mo Salah plays up. Absolutely. I think Bobby, I don't think you can leave Bobby out. It'd be really harsh to leave Bobby out.
He's been deadly. Yeah, I think Firmino has just been
unbelievable.
Like the commentary I thought was quite good, or the analysis was quite good after the game during the week, where they were talking about Bobby being kind of fifth choice, and maybe he could have been moved on during the summer. And I think he was linked with Barcelona and I think a couple of other teams. He is an absolutely fucking incredible footballer. The little pass for I'm not sure who scored it.
Oh, for Nunez, the flick for Nunez. The third goal. That reminded me of incredible.
But
I wouldn't even be able to do it in fucking 5
exactly. But to be able to think like that, right?
Yeah, and look, he's got that Brazilian touch and brain. But what I liked about Firmino was the ball was sticking to him.
Oh, big time.
The earlier Firmino started end of last season, the ball was bouncing off him. He wasn't comfortable in possession. He wasn't giving the lovely little balls through. When you see Firmino smiling with those big white set of teeth shining out like floodlights, and he's happy, he's confident, he knows he's going to get a few goals. He's throwing. He's a top goal scorer, I think.
He played another ball. He played another little ball. Yeah, like the heel with his right was just incredible. He played another little pass that came into him, and he just laid it off with the outside of his right boot in behind. He took two defenders out. Like, it was back to Bobby from 5 or 6 years ago. He was absolutely incredible. And I know we talked about the goal at the start. The corner was and the header was just superb. Absolutely, he bundled the keeper out of the way or the defender out of the way and into the top corner. Absolutely on fire.
North Red keeps talking about Blood Red. I think Blood Red's belong to the Echo, saying that Konate could be out. Now that would be a blow. That'd be a huge blow for the fact you'd have to play Gomez beside Van Dijk. You know what I mean? And who then do you play? Milner. And that Milner up against Foden, I think I'd be waiting to bleed and check already.
Yeah, but
if that's true, it's bad news. But we'll see.
But look for the positives there, right? Milner defensive, Henderson covering. You know, Milner's not going to go wandering, right? You're not going to see him in playing as a 10, right? You might see him trying to get up outside on the wing, but he won't be drifting as far as Trent is or would normally do. So I hope Konate is not injured, but Milner could cover.
But as Eamon Kelly is saying here, we can't play 4 attackers against City. Would be madness. That's what we're saying, Eamon. Yeah, I think he'll resort to the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're losing the game and it's 10-15 to go, you might go all out, try to get something out of it.
Oh yeah, and I think
that's a possibility as well.
Absolutely.
You know, you change the fluidity, go to a 4 from 4. You know.
Yeah, like I definitely think like the obvious changes that he's been making have been Elliott for Henderson, which is okay. Carvalho to come on and do something different because that's where
I think Carvalho's better coming on last 15, 20.
He is.
He's just starting the game. I just think it's too early for him.
It's not. Like I watched them coming on, walking onto the pitch or walking out of the tunnel the other night. And he's tiny. He is small. So the lads are kind of walking up, going, "All right, okay." Indeed.
That was your Milner point, was it? I see a positive in that.
Right.
Well, look, he's a Liverpool player. We got to stand by him. And if he is picked, we're obviously hoping he has a pretty good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. But I think just on Carvalho, he's been most effective when he's come off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, he's only just turned 20. Was he 20 in August or something? I mean, he's only a young lad, and I really like what I've seen already. This guy.
He's incredible.
I'm absolutely, over the moon with Carvalho. Elliott as well, but we've known a lot more about Elliott. But Carvalho, for me, I think could be top if he just keeps his head and his shoulders. Yeah. I think at the Etihad we get battered though to see. Well, that's next year.
Don't worry about that after Santa comes. Don't worry about that, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not worrying about that. It's all about Sunday. I just think we take the positive. We leave it now in a few minutes, Ivan. Keith had to run. Happy birthday to Keith, by the way.
He's going off for his happy birthday battered sausage.
What'd you say?
He's gone off for his happy birthday battered sausage.
Yeah, happy birthday to Keith today. But,
54 today, everybody.
The main thing is, I think, take the confidence out of the game on Tuesday. Bottle it and listen, but don't be overconfident because look, we know City. We've been up against the last 3 or 4 seasons. We're the only team to put it up against them, Ivan. Really, realistically. Otherwise, it's a Farmers League. If you take us out of the equation, it's got to be a Farmers League. Okay, Arsenal are decent, but I don't think Arsenal will be there up their arse right at the end of the season. I don't think they'll bring them that close.
No, I think Arsenal. I was talking to an Arsenal mate of mine at about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I think Arsenal will do an Arsenal. Unfortunately, like they've been great, but if you objectively look back at the game at the weekend and the decisions and the farce with VAR, the farce with the penalties. And
farcical. I call it farcical.
Exactly.
That's what
so we could have won. So what? So what would the media have been saying if we had a 1-3-2 and we get the penalty and they don't? Liverpool's back. Arsenal are gone. Fuck off. Like fuck off.
I still think though that game, even though we could have got something out of it with a bit of luck, I still think we were a bit all over the place in that game.
Yeah,
we no control. We weren't in control of our own destiny.
No.
And you look at the games we've played. There's only been a handful of games, maybe 3, where we were in control and knew we were going to win the bleeding things. Even the Ajax game. We played well in bits, and we got a last minute. Was a Matip header in the 90th minute or whatever. The Newcastle game, Carvalho. 90th minute, could have went either way. So Bournemouth 9-0, the second half only of the Rangers game. But there's only a handful of games you could say,
For I think after we conceded the goal against Arsenal and we got back into it, I think we were in control of that match. But it's to what we were talking about earlier. We're not all at 100%, and when we're not, and when there's 3 or 4 or 5 players at 90% or 95%, and that press isn't there, and you just lose control. And Keith talks about basketball. It kind of goes back to basketball, and we're not good at basketball anymore. We were great at basketball. We're not anymore.
17-18 season, that was a basketball season, remember?
Exactly. Yeah.
But listen, I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. I'm going to be positive about it. I'm going to say we're not going to get beaten. So that means we're either going to win or draw. Obviously, I want to win. But I'd be happy with a draw. It's just about getting a bit of consistency, getting a good performance against a top team. City are probably going to win the league. Let's be real, and probably have a great show with the Champions League. Let's keep Haaland quiet. I think that's a key. But he's not their only player. Remember, he's not their only player. No. So Foden or someone could pop up. So
like people were saying during the week, like they are so good You could put an average striker in there. You could put Ollie Watkins in there. Or some other name was mentioned. Shea Adams. You could put Shea Adams into the Man City team, and he'd score 40 goals. Like, they're that good. They create that many that many chances. You know. I'd be the same as you, Dave. I'm positive.
Yeah.
I take a draw. I'm going for a 2-1 Liverpool win.
Get in. Yeah, I was going to say 2-1 all week. Yeah, look, it's going to be tough. I think it won't be much. I don't think it'll be much in it. I don't think it'll be, a 3 or 4-0 City, what people are saying, that type of thing. It'll be a 1-1 or 2-1 or something like that. I mean, Pep said it midweek himself. This will be one of the toughest games. Of course, going to Anfield, that pyrotechnics behind you. It'll be under lights. It'll be dark. It'll be cold. It'll be autumn. The players will be up for it. Let's hope Kanate is okay. I think that's a big decision. If he's not, that's takes a few percentage points off us getting a win if he isn't playing, especially with Matip out.
Yeah, and the fans are huge. Like, I hope the fans see it as a big game.
We need the crowd. You'll need the crowd. I think you will get the crowd.
Yeah, they're out having a few pints during the day, and they come in there nice and merry, red sky, electric atmosphere, an absolutely electric atmosphere, and fingers crossed we turn up.
Yeah, guys, that has been absolutely fantastic. Keith was with us, but it's his happy birthday to Keith today, so we'll go with that. Ivan is in the house. Looking forward to the weekend. Looking forward to Gary 4-0. I like your optimism, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. I take that now. 2-2, says Eamon Kelly. Yeah, maybe that's not a bad result.
I take it.
I'll take that as well. But once we don't lose, I suppose, get a bit of performance. I think there's 2 or 3 key things, I think, for the weekend. We've got to take our chances. We've got to be clinical. You won't get a huge amount of chances against City. You might get 2 or 3 chances. You've got to take at least 2 of them, I think. No early goals. First 10, 15, keep it tight. If we can score, even better. Get the crowd behind us. Give them something to shout about. Keep it tight. And who knows? You never know. We might be celebrating at 6:30 on Sunday. It's been Dave's LC Chats. Keith and Ivan. Talk safe. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. See you Sunday, guys. You'll never walk alone. Thanks for the comments.